Hi everyone. So someone suggested covering maybe some positive fat influencers. I don't watch a whole lot of different. I'm not much of an influencer sort of person. Like I don't watch many influencers. Although I guess that's really a vague term and can apply to just about anybody. But I mean, if I had to like say influencer, I guess it would be like Charlotte Dobre is the only one that I really watch. Maybe Mark Narrations. Um, but I don't actually watch a whole lot of fitness influencers. The ones that I do watch aren't fat, but I figure it would be fun to share those guys. Someone suggested Brentley G, but when I looked up Brentley G, and I apologize, this video is going to have kind of like a weird format in terms of visuals. I'm going to try to crop it as best I can based on what we're watching, but try to go with it a little bit. But when I was looking up Brentley G, this came up, and apparently, Graphically Alex covered something where apparently Alan Roberts called Brentley G a liar, and he kind of delves into whether Brentley G is lying. I have no idea what the whole controversy is. There's apparently some stuff by Greg Doucette. Don't know what I'm not entirely sure what's happening at this point. I feel like I need a T channel for this to kind of give me a breakdown of what's happening. And actually, honestly, so I missed Graphically Alex's video. I will probably watch that later because now I'm kind of invested and I want to hear what Alex's take is on it. I missed this video somehow, and now I'm very curious. But for now, we're just gonna get like a 5 minute sampling of Brentley's video, maybe from one of his most recent videos, like weight loss and self love. We're probably not even gonna watch the full thing. We might watch a couple. Maybe we'll watch a couple of his shorts instead. I think shorts for me, fitness videos aren't something that I typically like just sit and watch. It's something I either have on in the background or there's something specific, like some specific bit of information that I'm trying to get from it. Because of that, I think we're just going to take a look at Brentley's shorts, a couple of Brentley shorts, well maybe like five of them, and then I'll show you five of the two influencers, I guess you would call them, uh that I watch in regards to fitness. And then I guess we'll call it I appreciate that people want positive, and I completely understand positive. I just have nothing much to say about the positive. I'm like, yeah, they're doing good shit. What more is there to say? So, I am looking into Brentley G. I have realized that there might be like a whole tea thing behind him that I'm now curious about. But for today, we're gonna try to keep it positive for this video, and we'll just see how things go.
So I just found out I'm an autumn a little while ago, and so I bought a yellow shirt, and it's like a size down, so I'm like down to the 4XT, and I was at all the way up to 7X at my biggest, and now look at me. I think I look pretty good, and it's fitting me right, and the color's right, and like I feel like it shows off like the hidden muscle beneath the chest a little bit more, you know. It's not so baggy on me, you know. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. It's cool. So like, yeah, I think it looks good. What do you think? I think I look definitely way better in yellow. I was trying on some outfits today, trying on the autumn colors. What do you think? I just look really good in yellow, don't I? Like, what do you think? I look better in a tighter shirt because I lost so much weight.
I mean, I'm glad that he's happy. He's going down. I mean, I understand the appeal of going down in a size and it looking good on you. So I mean, I'm happy for him. This is actually the third short that I've watched. The other two just I didn't have anything to say. So we're gonna go back. I'm gonna go back on my word, and we'll watch maybe the first couple minutes of this video. I don't think we'll get through the entire thing. He's not someone he was never anyone on my radar. Now I'm very curious about the controversy that's going on around him, and I can't wait to see Graphically Alex's video now after this. So we'll just go ahead and watch a little bit of the weight loss self love, and then I'll show you guys the two influencers that I occasionally watch shorts of.
I heard someone say something interesting on Instagram today. They were talking about how their weight loss journey didn't really change until after they finally did it to better their life instead of just to hate on a version of themselves that they didn't like. And there's a degree of truth in that. There's a huge degree of truth in that. I spent my entire life hating myself for being bigger than the average. And it was only once I allowed myself to like myself that I ended up finding the ability to actually make myself better. In the beginning of 2022, I realized that I needed to, stop limiting myself. I needed to stop torturing myself for the weight loss. I started allowing myself to get stronger. I ate the same amount of calories while also eating more protein, eating more, getting nutrients into my diet instead of just trying to hold off on eating and inevitably crashing and eating a bunch of cookies and chips. What I instead chose to do at the beginning of 2021 was uh, just up the nutrients in the amount of food I was already eating, and with that came more energy. With that came an ability to do more than I could have.
So there's a couple of things that he said here that I think rings very true, at least and I think this is what defines the difference between the way fitness influencers and people in favor of losing weight and stuff, how they view weight loss versus how the fat acceptance people view weight loss. And how often like younger people view weight loss, because I feel like a lot of young people view weight loss as that toxic diet culture thing that the FAs push, where you have to be starving yourself and you um have to hate your body and all of that. And it's like anyone that has successfully lost weight long term, most of them will tell you that like the goal isn't to starve yourself. The goal isn't to hate your body into being smaller or being better. It's that you kind of make a choice for yourself that this is not the life I want to live anymore. And you find ways to live sustainably in a way that's more conducive to your health. And then you reap the benefits of that mentality almost immediately because, kind of like Brentley has said, like you feel better, you have more energy. I slept so much better at night once I gave up soda. I still have soda some up to once a week. Um, it's not even once a week right now, but sometimes it typically it's about once a week as like a treat because I like the taste of soda, but it does shit for my like it is the antithesis of my ability to sleep. I have serious issues with insomnia even with sleep medication. I struggle with it and giving up soda, I have had more consistent sleep benefits. And so I drink water all the time now because I part of what I realized is that it wasn't soda itself. If for some reason aspartame or aspartame, however you want to pronounce it, interacts with me in a way that has almost like a caffeine effect and I can't sleep if I'm drinking it or in taking I've kind of gone off all sugar-free stuff and just opt to eat fewer sweet things because so much of it has aspartame or aspartame in it and I can't it fucks with my sleep. So let's see what else he has to say.
Done before. I wasn't so malnourished. And yes, you can be malnourished while you're as gigantic as me. I'm not malnourished calorie wise by no means. But yeah, I was malnourished, nutrient wise. And, I wasn't drinking enough water and I wasn't being active enough and getting the, nutrients into my body that allowed me to be happier, more B12 into my body, more fiber to get a more regular schedule, with the output and getting just more protein into my body to start building muscle and being more happy getting iron so that I could stand up more, getting calcium for stronger bones, just getting all those better nutrients into my body allowed me to get out there and start working out. And that was what 2021 was all about. I worked out a ton. I went to the gym every single day and I did legs 2021, I was like, I'm down quite a lot. I want to focus more on the calorie side of it. So 2022 has been all about, decreasing my calorie load and losing a lot of the fat. Now that I'm, liking myself, now that I'm giving myself the nutrients I need, now that I'm, finding a healthier way to do things that makes me happier, that allows me to be more awake in my own body, I am able to focus on calories and stuff. I think a lot of the reason that people eat so much is because they're not eating nutrient rich foods. Their body isn't satisfied because they know that they're not getting everything they have. So, like, you can eat like 1,000 Oreos and you'll.
I will say I think there is some truth to this too. I personally I try to eat a varied diet, but I'll be honest, it's not a strong point of mine because most of the time I'm like I don't even really want to, with the exception of like dinner and after dinner snack. Those are like the only two things that I will actually look forward to food wise. But breakfast, I have the same thing every day, which is actually pretty nutrient dense. Um, but it's the same thing every day because I don't want to think about it in the morning. And lunch, I'm like doing my shit in the day and I don't want to, so I will often have like just a protein bar or something because I don't like my biggest issue is probably overconsumption of sugar at night. That's slowly waning and I'm finding a happier medium now, but it's really hard for me to take the time to focus on nutrients in the middle of the day because I'm like I have other shit that I want to focus on and I have other shit that I want to do. I guess ultimately it's not really a priority for me. Um for better or worse, for whatever that is. So I do take just a multivitamin. Multivitamin has helped me a lot. And when I remember to take my multivitamin consistently, I actually do eat less. And I think there is some truth of you go to eat more because you're not getting the nutrients that you need. So for me, I get my nutrients probably from my morning shake and then from my multivitamin. And of course I don't like just eat shit the rest of the day. I often have like a salad or fruit or something throughout the day, vegetables with dinner, that sort of thing, but I don't pay that much attention to it as much as I should. But I think there is some truth to that.
Get the same amount of nutrients that you get from a big old thing of assorted vegetables and meats. You can eat like so many calories and you just won't fuel your body right, and then your body's looking out there is looking to snuff more, and you can maybe gain some semblance of nutrients from a chemical rich sugar snack, but you need to eat a lot of it, and that's where the body comes in and starts looking for stuff. And in order to get yourself away from that addiction, in order to get yourself away from that, you need to actually give your body what it needs. It needs the vitamin D. It needs you to be active. It needs you to get out there and do other things. And a lot of the part where self-love comes into it is getting out there and getting, love from other people, but of course, love from your surrounding area. It may not seem like it, but there are things to do in your area. There are parks, there are trails, there are bars even. You don't have to drink a whole lot. You can just get one beer and drink that throughout the night and just use it as an excuse to party. Get out there. Do more. I watched a video years ago about a guy talking about things that helped him lose weight, and it was getting out of the house more is the one thing that stuck with me from that video. Because if you're out and about in the world, you're nowhere near your kitchen cabinets and you can't just like go and grab.
I disagree with this. For me, it's not about getting out of the house. Getting out of the house, I'm actually more likely to uh, eat like shit because I'll grab what's handy rather than my house, which I try to kind of limit as much as I can because I live with three other people. So I can't control what they bring in and it's communal food. So, but for what I bring in, I try not to bring in any additional sweets unless it's like a single serving. So for me, going out exhausts me. I'm very much I would be a shut-in if I could. I would like never see the light of day if I could because I'm just that I'm that much of a homebody. Going out exhausts me, and then when I'm exhausted, especially socially exhausted, which I get pretty easily from going out, I eat. I eat as a way to stay awake. So for me, the going out and stuff is very much a matter of personality. My sister's the type of person that likes to be out of the house. Being in the house would probably be worse for her. Going out, well, like going out once a week or something, if I didn't have to, I'm sorry, no, I don't know. Even going out once a week seems like sometimes I'm that much of a shut in, you guys. Like I don't, well, no, once a week because I did have my sewing class, which I really loved. So I think it kind of depends on what it is. Going out to a bar once a week, I think would be very, very depressing for me. That's not where I need to be actively doing something when I'm out, or I just wonder why I'm there. And if it's something that I can do at home, I would just as soon do it at home. It for me, it takes far more energy to go out than it does to stay home. And at home, I have all the pretty fun things that I can distract myself with. It's a matter of not getting inundated and being in the mindset of chores need to be done while you're at home. Separate some time for yourself to do things you like. It's for me, it's more of a hobby thing, or it's a matter of where you find fulfillment. I think is a better way of doing it. For some people, surface social connections are actually far more depressing than they are uplifting. For some people, shutting yourself in and working on a single project for an entire day is depressing, where from people like me, it would give us a lot of energy and we wouldn't really necessarily think about looking at food. When I'm out and about and I'm like, oh, I'm hungry, I'll grab like chips or something fast that I don't have to put much time, energy, or money into getting, and just to put off the hunger because I don't really want to deal with it. At home, it's also kind of the same thing, but I keep apples stocked in my house because that's like my big go-to when I'm hungry and I don't want to deal with it. Is I get apples and a spoonful of peanut butter. I eat that and then I'm good, and like I'll measure it as like 2 tablespoons, so it ends up being like a 300 calorie snack or my lunch sometimes. Um, and that's what I eat. And if I'm still hungry after that, I eat another apple just without the peanut butter. Like that's what I do. I'm not good with lunch, you guys. I'm just not good with lunch.
a bunch of stuff. There's also the food restaurants out there and all the grocery stores, and you just walk in, grab yourself a sandwich. But that's like just more money, and you're spending that money, and you're already spending the money on being out there. So I don't know. It just puts one extra barrier in between you and just endlessly snacking, and also allows you to be more physically active. I know in most cities there are walking groups that you can join up with. You look on Facebook, you look on Twitter, you can find, really great walking groups, running groups, cycling groups. You can go to a climbing gym. I know my city, it's a relatively small city and it's got a climbing gym. And once I get strong enough to lift my own body weight, I'm going to join it and it's going to be fun. There's a bit of community there. So I want to get out there. I want to do that. And there are places to rent kayaks in places with a lot of water.
I think this kind of goes back around to my point. It's a matter of being excited for something. So if you're excited to go out and do the kayaking thing and do that, that's not terribly exciting for me. I Something I've wanted to do recently though is I found a couple of new Vocaloid dances like Budokino dance, and then there's this one that was from a mocap uh YouTube page. But they used a girl and she did a fantastic job dancing. It's a Miku song, and I don't know which one it is, and it's driving me up the fucking wall. But I found her, and I found the original video, and I'm gonna like screen record it, flip it, so that way I can learn it correctly and not learn it backwards. And that's what I want to do. That's what's fun for me. If going out and kayaking or joining a climbing gym excites you and makes you like eager to get more fit and stuff so you can do it, that's what you should do. So I don't disagree with Brentley on a lot of these things, but I think that there is a little bit more customization for people based on their personalities that can happen. I don't want to completely steal like take up all of this and possibly get copyright claimed. So we're gonna go ahead and leave that there, and I'm gonna just show you guys real quick the two influencers that I follow. And I, for the record, go to Graphically Alex's page if you want to hear about that whole like controversy thing with Alan Roberts and Brentley. Like I'm curious about it now. So check him out because he had a video on it. So the first fitness influencer that I typically follow is Movement by David, and I'll show you one of his shorts.
I consider myself a bodybuilder, but why am I so small? Google says a bodybuilder is a person who strengthens and enlarges their muscles through strenuous exercise. You can prevent injuries, you just have to know which injury you're trying to prevent.
Movements like this would most likely injure a professional athlete. But if you prepare yourself with regressed exercises, the chances of injury significantly decrease.
Let's say you're on a walk and you slip. You're definitely going to injure yourself unless you've taken the time to build up the ability to lengthen the hamstrings and, more importantly, strengthen them in those lengthened positions.
Injury prevention is knowing how to safely expose yourself to the vulnerable positions.
So instead of starting with a crazy advanced exercise like this, start with something that you can do.
And over time, your body will adapt and become less injury prone.
When something like this happens, it doesn't actually have to set you back. Look, he was fine. Stay flexy.
This is what a lot of his shorts are different ways to both minimize potential injury and just kind of cool things with like how flexible you can be. I'm gonna show you guys one more just because I think he's really cool.
Most people think the video is reversed when I do stuff like this, but as you can see, the video is definitely not reversed. The anterior deltoid plays a huge role in that move, but surprisingly, the bicep and the chest play an even bigger role.
Normal push-ups can help if you use an inclined surface to sink even deeper into that stretch, or you can switch it to a dip to sink just a little bit deeper, just like this. But you'll see lots of people online saying, don't do deep dips, they're bad for your shoulders.
But deep dips are actually super safe if you're very, very strong in this position. But if this feels uncomfortable, start maybe a little less deep first. It all starts with that basic dip. You can use a ledge like this and emphasize the stretch at the bottom.
There's a lot of things you should question, but I'd take advice from the person who has the results you want.
Like, I can give you great calisthenic advice, but a calisthenic athlete would give you better advice.
Or drugs.
Don't do drugs. Stay flexy.
So this is another thing that David does a lot is talk about how to refine like the motions, where to start, where to there's someone better for that though. But I do like that he kind of goes into which muscles are part of the movement that you're trying to achieve. And I just think that it's really interesting what he can do, and I want to be able to do it too. So the other guy is Hybrid Calisthenics, and I'm gonna look at one of his shorts. He is the one I would go to if you're looking for where to start that's easiest for you in order to get to like a really difficult sort of skill.
Hey, if doing push-ups hurt your elbows, try this out. Many possible causes, here are some. It might simply be a matter of how you position your hands. Your hand placement can affect how much you bend your elbows. More elbow bend is more elbow work, which can make elbows strong, but can make elbow pain if you're not ready. So you don't have to do push-ups this way, but try a push-up with your forearms relatively perpendicular to the ground. See if that helps. It's hard to keep exactly perpendicular. Your wrist mobility actually plays a role in this, so stretch and warm them up a little bit before you do this. It's not necessarily wrong to do push-ups any particular way, but it can hurt if you haven't built up using that same technique. You might be surprised how much issues in one area stem from issues in other areas. So work some pull-ups and hangs too, just for balance. Have a beautiful day. Hey, if doing push-ups hurt your elbows, try this out.
So he does this a lot too with like if this movement is uncomfortable, try this thing. That's what hybrid calisthenics does a lot. And that's one of the reasons why I love his shorts. I haven't actually watched any of his videos. I've mostly only watched his shorts. But well, we're gonna since I showed you two of Movement by David, I'm gonna show you two of hybrid calisthenics.
If doing push-ups hurt your wrists, try this out. There's a long-term solution and a short-term solution. The short-term solution is just to keep your wrists straight with parallettes. Dumbbells also work, or just your knuckles is fine if you want to go raw. The long-term solution is just to make your wrists strong, like swole. Actually, you probably don't want a swollen wrist. You can rock back and forth, like yah, or hiya. Just kidding, do this slowly. You can even do some of these bad boys with like any stick. We don't usually apply much pressure to our wrists in this position outside of exercise. As a result, they're stiff and lonely when we want them to be mobile and well socialized. So if you just warm up a bit before your workout, you might find a lot of pain reduces just from that. Have a beautiful wrist. I'm sorry.
So that's that he does this a lot, and it's right now it's mostly just with push-ups, the two that I've shown you, but I was really drawn to those because I have issues with pain in my wrists when I do push-ups. And his videos helped me, and I really like the idea. He does a lot of regression stuff too. Like if you're hoping to eventually do I don't remember what it was. Like a handstand push-up or something, start but you can't even do like a full push-up on your own. Here's some different ways to get there, like starting with the wall. Even if, like, let's say you can do push-ups on your knees, but you can't do push-ups uh like on your toes. Um he even had a couple of different variations for ways to build up strength that is harder than on your knees but easier than on your toes. He does a lot of fantastic work. This video ended up being even longer than I thought, but I'm actually kind of glad that I covered it because these Brentley G had some good stuff to say, and I'm really glad I was able to share with Movement by David and Hybrid Calisthenics because they are two of my favorite fitness influencers, like the only two fitness influencers really that I watch, and I really love their shorts, and I should probably watch some of their videos because I like seeing how much the human body can do and knowing that I can probably get there eventually. Um, and I like kind of the rough roadmap that I get from like I have no idea how to even start to achieve this. And Hybrid Calisthenics especially does a lot of good work with how to bring it down and make it easier, and also the different steps that you can to build it up and get there. So I just wanted to share that. So there was a little bit of positivity this month for you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time.